Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dr. Quack podcast. Today, I have a special guest here. Let me tell you, this man has been all over the world. He is one of my best friends in the world, in the business and outside of it. I'd like to introduce you all to Damian Van Horne. Please say hi.
Hey, Quack, what's going on, my brother?
Oh,
It's good to be with you.
Same here, man. Likewise, I am glad. I've been waiting almost an entire year to be able to make sure that I got you on the podcast.
No doubt. It's been a turbulent year for me, that's no doubt. And it's good to be able to finally be able to sit down with you, be able to go over a lot of good stuff with you.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I am so appreciative of this. So, let's kind of, I guess, brighten up the viewers here. Who was your trainer?
Mad Dog Vashon.
Mad Dog Vashon. When did you break into the business?
Well, this is what happened was when I first broke into the business, it was almost by happenstance. I'd already been a big, wrestling fan, all my life. And I worked on cars.
Wow.
And I worked at a place called Amco Transmissions. And over off of this place of 60th and L. And anyhow, it was a Friday night, and we got a majority of cars out of the lots. So the manager bought beer for all of us. And we were supposed to close at 6, which we did. Well, anyhow, it was around about 6:30, there was a pounding on the door. And we were already drinking our beer in the back. And the manager was like, I'm not going on up there, just let them pound on the door. Well, anyhow, to make a long story short, I was the low man on the totem pole, so they said, you're really good with people. Go on up there and see what's going on, and tell them we'll get to them on Monday. So anyhow, I went up to the door and opened up the door, and I was looking down, and I didn't look up to see who I was talking to. I said, sorry, we're closed for the night. And I hear this, I'm in need of help right now. Now I need help. My car is broke down right in front of your garage, and I need help now.
Wow.
And I looked up, and lo and behold, it was Mad Dog Vashon. And he had a Lincoln Continental. And the thing that was weird about it was, as I worked on cars doing transmissions and everything, I used to also rebuild alternators. And I'd keep them in the back, and we'd sell them. So anyhow, what was wrong with his car is his alternator was out. And I had an alternator that fit his Lincoln Continental. And with him being Mad Dog Vashon, I wasn't going to charge him for it at all. So I went on out there and slapped it into his car and all that. And I was like, oh, and he wanted to pay. And I was like, no, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm sorry that we make you wait and all that. And the guys in the shop were making fun of me because they're like, oh, you're doing this for this old man or whatever. And I'm like, you don't even know who he is. That's Mad Dog Vashon, And as everyone, a lot of people know Mad Dog Vashon was in the 1948 Olympics.
Really? I didn't know that.
Besides being a professional wrestler, he wrestled up for Canada in Montreal.
Wow.
So anyhow, after that happened, he was really happy with me, and he goes, how would you like to make $600? And I was like, $600? And he goes, yes, how would you like to make $600? And I'm like, I gave you the alternator, it's on the house. I thought he was talking about, paying me for putting the alternator in. And I was like, well, it's my pleasure, thank you.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I need a driver. I have one leg and I need a driver. I'm going out to Indiana, I need a driver. He goes, and I just need one person to drive me on out there so I don't have to make so many stops. And except this time he'd already had one leg amputated and stuff, but he was still driving. And so I went back inside, and this other gentleman I worked with, he was a big wrestling fanatic. When I told him it was my dog Sean, he flipped. And he goes, "Oh my God, for real?" And I said, yeah. And he goes, "Oh my God, I used to, catch him when my dad had the black and white TV, back in the, 50s and 60s. And I was like, yeah, right on. And he wants me to be a driver. So anyhow, as I called my wife at home, we were only a block away from Amco, where we lived. And I said, "You wouldn't believe what's going on." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Man, Dr. Sean is here, and I fixed up his car." And she goes, "Oh my God, no way." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, what are you calling me about? Is everything all right?" And I said, "Well, he needs a guy to drive him to Indiana, and he wants to pay me $600 to do it." And, even though I was working on cars, that wasn't a lot of money in it,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of it was on commission and all that.
Right.
So $600 flat out.
It's a good, nice chunk of change.
It was, yes. And I'd be lying to say if we didn't need it.
So who was your first match against?
My first match was with a guy named Johnny Vortex.
Johnny Vortex. Okay.
Yeah. And so anyhow, my wife told me I'd be an idiot if I didn't take him up on that offer. So I drove, and I drove both ways.
Wow.
I drove back home. And on the way back home, while we got there, I sat at the gimmick table, because that's what he was there for, was to do, autographs and sell his gimmicks.
Right.
And I must have made an impression on him somehow. I don't know how or why, because he had me wearing one of his shirts, and people will come up to the table and they're like, "Who's this strapping lad with you?" And he goes, "Oh, this is my nephew. This is my nephew." And they're like, "What's your name?" And he gave me a look like, "Don't fuck this up." And I was like, "Damian." And they were like, and that's where the name stuck. And he goes, "Yes, it's my nephew. It's my nephew." Well, yeah, I was on the way back home. He was talking to me, and he goes, you have a really good, sense of things. And he goes, "You have a really good build to you." He goes, "Have you ever thought of wrestling?" And I was like, I did when I was younger, but I didn't know where to go for anything. And I still don't know how and where, to go for training or anything like that. And he goes, "Well, come Tuesday, come to my house, and I'll help you out." And I went over to his house, and Tuesday began what's known to be history.
That's awesome. I mean, you just never know how you're going to get in this business. And, you were fixing his car.
That was it. Luck. Honestly, luck. And I don't know what I did to, kind of get underneath his wing. I was just me. I didn't know the rules of the road. All I knew was that I couldn't sleep, because I was the one driving. And it's funny because he'd always have his the laundry detergent, that you pour into your laundry.
Yeah.
He'd always have an air bottle with him, and so instead of stopping unless we needed gas, he'd just pee in that.
Wow.
And so he brought 2 air bottles, so he gave me an air bottle, and he had an air bottle. And so we only stopped whenever we needed gas, or if we wanted some coffee.
Oh, man.
That was it. And but he was fun to go with because he had so many stories that were phenomenal.
I can imagine. So you watched it when you were growing up. Who was your favorite wrestler back in those days?
Man, back in the days, then, wow, that's a toughie.
Would you have somebody where you went, yeah, I want to be like that guy?
Yeah. If I wanted to be like anyone on there, I would have probably went with Dusty Rhodes, believe it or not.
Ah, the American Dream, baby.
Yeah, because he was able to talk, and man, he was able to sell like a motherfucker. Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
That slipped out. I didn't mean to slip that out, but he was able to sell like none other. And he would walk around in like in airports, with a crutch and all that, still selling the limp and everything. So people would still believe that his ankle was still messed up and broke and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Even though it was fine, yeah.
I mean, it was like when he took the spike to the eye. I was like, man, I thought he was done.
Yeah. But I dug him, and the other one I'd have to go with was Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ah, the cream rises to the top.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great heel, but the thing is that he didn't have to really cheat to get over.
No.
I mean, he outfoxed people, and I thought that was just awesome to see. Because you got so used to the guys reaching into their trunks for the gimmick, to hit them with the gimmick, But not Macho Man. He did it once there, Santana to win the title, yeah. But on other times, he did.
Yeah, he just dropped the elbow, man. It'd be done.
Yes, he would. Which was a trip. So those are two that I really looked up to. When I was growing up wrestling.
So
they're watching wrestling.
Yep. You're so let's fast forward a little bit. So you went and got trained by Mad Dog Vachon. Your first match, what was your thought process going into that?
Wow. My first thought process was don't mess up. Because he's watching. He's watching.
So you were pretty nervous.
Don't mess up. And no lie, this is the weirdest deal. Got to the venue early and all that, and had a little bit to eat and stuff, and got used to everything, and got introduced to the guy I was working, and asked what he wanted to go over, see what he wanted me to go with and whatnot. No big deal. And then, man, just minutes before we were about to go on out there, man, it felt like I had to take a shit.
Yeah.
No lie. I was like, no, this cannot be happening to me. This can't be happening to me. And at those times, they'd have me escorted out with a guy in handcuffs, and I'd have chains over me. And they'd put me in, and I'd scare people by because the guy would kind of put me into the crowd a little bit, and it would frighten them and stuff. These people would be aghast and yelling and screaming and running away. And but my thought process was to go in there and give up a good show and make the baby look good.
Mm-hmm. Did he take care of you?
He was really in for it because I had some size on him, and which was weird because it was a little smaller of a guy than myself. So it looked like I'd just sit there and I would be should pummel him all around the ring, you know. And it was really weird because, you know, I had to talk to him a little bit. He got me in my leg, which was perfect because it got me off of my feet. And said he really wanted to work my arm, you know, which would have been okay. But he already had me off my feet after he kicked me in my knee and all that. So I was like, take my leg, you know. And so we started rolling that way. And so we were trying to move it into more of a submission style match. And finally at the very end, I rolled him up into a small package. He rolled and it rolled me back on my shoulders. Then I pulled his trunks, rolled him back, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's right. If you're the heel, man, you got to just learn how to cheat and win.
Yes, yeah. And, you know, because I really wanted him, well, he was a promoter's son. And so I definitely wanted him to be able to leave with some, you know, with some, like, dignity, you know.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And I'm not one of those where I left the ring right away, you know. I mean, I hobbled, you know, I worked that thing. I hobbled out of that ring, you know, falling down a little bit. Ooh, that knee is gone, you know, ooh, you know.
The art of selling.
So it looked like, yeah. And you don't see that much, you know, a lot of times anymore. You know, you'll see someone that will take like a Vader bomb from a guy that looks to be like 300 pounds. And as soon as the 3 count happens, slide out of the ring and walk off like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you doing, dude? You just no-sold what that guy did to you. You know what I mean?
I do.
And I wanted to make sure I wasn't one of those people. And
because you had respect for the business.
That I was able to wrestle and hold my own.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. So let's fast forward here. So you started your career when? That's what I was curious on. What year did you start?
97.
97. I remember because I was about a little over a year later, roughly about late 98, early 99. You know, that was a different time frame in comparison to now. That the end of the Attitude Era.
Right.
You know, people were actually like scouting and were looking for talent at that point. You know, guys, you know, got picked up left and right. And you got picked up to OVW.
Yeah. I had to try out for him.
Yeah, how did that work out? Like, what started it? Did they come to you? Did you send them a video?
Yeah, well, what I did is, Mad Dog was always sending a tape of everything you do and send it up to New York. You know, that's the best thing that you can ever do. And so, what we did is we invested in a camcorder. And I'd pay off a couple of roadies, you know, the guys that would set up the rings.
Yep.
You know, I'd pay them, you know, like $10 to videotape my match for me. And anything else I did, if I was cutting a promo or anything else, and keep it on that tape. And what I'd do is I would wait till I'd filled up that whole tape, you know, full of matches and promos and gimmick and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
And as soon as I had one tape filled up, I would actually go to J.C. Penney, and that's where I'd get my 8x10 done. Of me and my trunks and everything. And because then it's a professional photograph store.
Right.
And so it makes it really look professional. So I'd do that, and then I'd throw in my resume, who trained me, who broke me into the business,
So
where I've worked, that whole deal.
Yeah.
And I'd just keep sending them in.
So who reached out to you from OVW?
Tony Gurria.
Tony Gurria.
Tony Gurria is the one that reached out. He was the one that reached out to me.
Okay. How'd that conversation go?
Wow. Surprisingly, it was like a big surprise. I thought at first I was getting jerked around, because I was like, really? And because the phone rang and they were like, we're here to talk to Damian Van Horne, is he around? And I'm like, well, you're speaking to him, And he's like, I'm Tony Gurria. He goes, and I'm with, back then, World Wrestling Federation. And he goes, and I do a lot with Ohio Valley Wrestling. And you've been sending in your tapes, and we've been watching them over, and we've seen how much that you've, gotten better at your craft. And we're wondering if you'd want to come out for a tryout. And I was like, a tryout? And he goes, yeah, a tryout to be, considered, to be able to come into the Ohio Valley Wrestling and be, trained on up here and polished and put on the list.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, what does that entail for me? He goes, do you fly or do you drive? And I'm like, I can do either. I live in Omaha, Nebraska, so, I can fly or drive. It doesn't matter to me. He goes, well, it matters to us. We fly or drive. And out of the blue, I thought I'd be nicer or seem like more dedicated. I was like, I'll drive. I don't know why I said that, but I did. I said, but I'll drive. He goes, you sure? And I said, yeah, I'll drive. And he goes, we'll do that. And he goes, and bring $150 with you. And I was like, $150? And he goes, yeah. He goes, because people looking at you and all that. And he goes, the tryouts aren't for free. And he goes, and we already have a full shift. And he goes, but to look at you, you want to bring that with you. And I was like, well, okay, And so he went ahead and gave me the address and went through what I needed to bring with me.
Wow.
And asked me what I was doing for work right now, And I was like, well, I'm wrestling as much as I can and, still working on cars. And he goes, well, maybe we might be able to get you off that car business and, get you making some money. He goes, but no promises. He goes, let's just get you out here and see what we can do with you.
Yeah, I mean, because you were around the time, OVW, where a lot of the big names, a lot of people, talking about like your Brock Lesnar's, John Cena's,
Yes.
Randy Orton, Dave Bautista, like those guys you were in that same locker room.
Yes.
And none of these guys were like complete stars yet. I mean, these guys were on the radar, but nobody knew where they were going to do. Nobody knew where they were going to go.
Right. No, you're right on the money, Quack. You're right on the money.
Yeah. How did that go? How was the interaction with all that?
Believe it or not, at parts it was good. At some parts it was good. Then there are other parts where you start to kind of feel like Brock was like, I'm a NCAA like 3-time champion. I'm ass kicker and I'll do whatever I want. And Dave Bautista, he was known as Leviathan there.
That's right.
And anyhow, I didn't really have much of a mashing up with him, much at all, you know. But now Randy Orton, of course, Bob Orton's son, he's like, I'm an Orton, you know.
The entitlement.
Yeah, he's like, don't shit where I eat. You know, he was trying to be that way, kind of marking his territory, if you will.
Yeah.
And to a lot of people, that would kind of freak them out a little bit. I was lucky because, you know, that's one thing that Matt Doug always taught me. He goes, there'll be times you're going to run across people that are going to mark their territories, but he goes, you got to understand you're a pit bull dog too, so you mark your territory. And I did, and it took a little bit, and me and Randy started to do a little bit better near each other. Because there, for the longest time, he couldn't stand me, and I couldn't stand him.
Wow. Did you guys have a lot of verbal words or physical altercation or anything?
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, dude, we're all here for the same thing. We're all here to be out here and make some money. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You do what you're supposed to do, and let's just call it good, you know?
Right.
And he's like, no one's gonna take my spotlight. And I'm like, I'm not here to take no spotlight. No one's here to take no one's spotlight. Everyone here is hungry, you know? And, but with him, he was, I don't know, incorrigible at that time. But also he was really young too, you know? And I'm trying to remember how old he was. I think he was like 20 or something like that.
Oh yeah, he was definitely young for sure.
Yeah, he was young. But Brock would just want to like wrestle like in the ring, and then besides wrestling in the ring, all he wanted to do is throw people around, you know. And he was a potatoer, you know. If you wrestled him, you know, you were bound and determined to get a potato.
Oh yeah.
If you wrestled him and stuff. And but me, I was one where it's like, all right, you potatoed me, I'll potato you. And I'd get into trouble with management because I wasn't supposed to potato him.
Right. Jim Cornette and Danny Davis, that was management, right?
Yeah. Yes, it was. And Corny was great. Corny is what really made things well for me. And I watched what he did and followed what he said. And Danny Davis had everything set up for, you know, like Orton and Cena, and for Batista and Lesnar. You know, he didn't always have that stuff set up. And there was another guy that came up when I did, but it was about a year or so later. Jim came up with this guy and gave him a new name, and it was called the Boogeyman. And anyhow, was the story behind it was that if we weren't working that show, we had to be in attendance.
Wow.
You know, to make it look like there was a full venue.
Right.
At OVW. And however, you know, if someone came over to work us, we had to look like we were being worked and move out of the way, you know. Just like if someone's going to go get thrown into a pile of chairs in an indie show now.
Right.
You know, even the fans know to get up and move out of the way. You know. Well, what happened was Santino Marella didn't get out of the way of the Boogeyman, and it made Boogeyman look kind of cheap.
Right.
And that's when the altercation happened, when they said that Corny slapped him.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what caused a lot of heat going on.
and you were there for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I can imagine the heat that they, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
whoo.
Yeah, there was a lot of heat that went on with it. And it was just like, it was over. And Morale just sat there. And no disrespect to Morale, because, I mean, I like, we're good now and all that, you know. You got to understand, we were just young kids at that time, really.
Right, you guys were just hungry and fighting for a spot if you can get it.
That was it, exactly. You know, we weren't doing anything heavily malicious, you know, just to really hurt each other. You know, we were just all hungry. And he just didn't move out of the way. He's like, I'm not afraid. I know this is a work, you know, that kind of thing. And it made Boogeyman look wrong.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that affected his career a lot, that moment? Because, I mean, he came out to the E for a little bit, and it's like they didn't use him.
Yeah, Boogeyman, it affected his gimmick and all that. And he never kind of got on the team and started getting big. You know, and
yeah, it just seemed like they didn't know what to do with him. They seemed like they didn't want to push him. They didn't really want to put a championship on him. You know, like he was just there, you know.
Right. No, you're exactly right.
Man.
Back when they put him onto that ECWE, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, when the WWE was doing ECW.
Right.
And they put him up on. He was already pretty. But yeah, so anyhow, yeah, he did his deal, and he worked his ass off, but you know, he didn't get anything good from the office, and then they just gave him his walking papers. And I never heard whatever happened to him after that.
Yeah, he's like almost disappeared. You know, so what was the reason why you end up leaving OVW?
Well, because of the fact I saw how things were kind of like looking on my end. When they got rid of Cornette, I saw the writing on the wall, so I was like, I'm done too. And maybe that's wrong. You know, a lot of people used to look at me and been like, dude, that was wrong. You should have just stayed around. And
did Danny come up to you and say, hey, you should stick around? Or did anybody else try to convince you?
Yeah, Tony did a lot.
Tony Gurria
did a lot. He was just like, man, he goes, listen, it's just, you know, been a turbulent little ride. Sometimes it's just turbulent little rides and all this. And I was like, but, you know, Cornette, you know, I really, you know, looked up to, and, you know, I saw him as a mentor, you know, and without him around, you know, I don't feel right. I just don't feel it right in the gut, you know. And they're like, well, you know, but that happens in this business. Sometimes some guys have to go on their own way, and you know, you got to stay on and do your deal. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I'm like, you know, there were at that time, there were so many rumors that were floating around of what was supposedly going on. I was just like, man, I was like, we got guys that are literally, you know, we're potatoing each other in the ring. Some of our matches are turning into, you know, legit you know, fights.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's getting a little absurd, you know. And I'm like, and I've never been told where my place is. I mean, I work to where my place should be, but, you know, I'm kind of held back. You know, I just want to, you know, do what I know I can do, you know. And they're like, well, think about it. And, you know, whatever you want to do, we'll do, but, you know, we want you to think long and hard about it. And so they give me, you know, a couple weeks and they didn't book me or anything, let me have some downtime. And I started seeing how well other things are going on in the indie scene, like, you know, JPW and, you know, like Ring of Honor was coming around.
Yep.
IWA was really on the map at the time.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time there at the IW Mid-South.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I made my name already. And so it was just like, you know, it was really all up to me. And I also sat down and, you know, started looking at my purse set where I'm like, okay, you know, I have a home in Omaha and an apartment in Louisville, Kentucky, because that's where OPW was.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm paying on 2 places and all that junk.
Right.
And driving from Timbuktu to Timbuktu, where I was like, my God, I can just be in Omaha and, you know, go wherever I want to go and, you know, get paid. And so I got a hold of Mad Dog and talked to him about it. And I said, you know, I don't know what to do here. I was like, you know, I wanted to be here and I want to be here, but this is what's going on. He goes, leave on a good note, so that, you know, if there's time you want to go back, you can go back.
Right.
You know, but if you want to go home, you know, I don't blame you. He goes, it seems like there's a lot of problems going on. And, you know, Danny Davis had his own kind of crew going on. And
John Laurinaitis involved in there, right?
What was that?
John Laurinaitis?
Oh, yeah. I was about ready to get to him. Johnny. See, because Johnny moved in on everything. And Johnny's the one that really encapsulated my 2 weeks. I came back after my 2 weeks and dealt with Johnny for about 4 days. And I did. I pulled him by the tie and I was like, dude, I'm on out of here, and if I ever see your measly face again, I will beat the living shit out of it. You understand? Then I just pushed him back, and I was like, I'm out. Gone. And that was it.
Yeah.
Because Laurinaitis, oh God, there was only so much I was able to put up with him.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know?
I've heard that from a lot of people, you know, when it came to the business side of wrestling.
Yeah. He always thought he was something, and all he was, you know, a fucking wannabe skateboarder dude.
Oh, God. Not the bad dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I remember that tag team. I mean,
Isn't that the truth?
yes. Oh my God, Shane Douglas. You know, I understand you had to do a gimmick. I loved it, but God, man.
And he was supposed to be taking over for Danny Davis. Danny Davis was getting knocked down a peg.
Yeah.
And so Laurinaitis was the one who was pulling all the strings and stuff. And it wasn't until later on when I ran across Davis that Davis was just like, well, a lot of my, you know, he goes, I know it looked bad on me, but the stuff that I was doing while you were there, Laurinaitis was already pulling from Stanford. you know.
Yeah.
So I guess Laurinaitis already kind of had his hand in it a little bit before I even thought of my 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's interesting how he just got in there like that.
Oh, hell yeah, it was a trip. But none of them, like, real workers could respect him. That's one thing I did love about Dave. You know, Dave Bautista, dude, he had no respect for John. You know.
Right.
He toughed it out. I mean, God love him. I mean, for real, God love him. He you know, he hung out and he got rewarded for it, you know, which is cool, you know. But, man.
That was a lot of punches to be rolling with.
Yeah. Exactly. And, I mean, I couldn't deal with it, that's for sure.
So, here you go.
Yeah.
So, your favorite match that you were in, your favorite opponent, who would that have been?
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's a tough one, ain't it?
Man, that's such a toughie because, God, there's so many that were so good that I really loved.
Yeah, well, pick one. I'm curious.
Right on. I know. Because I got these ones all beaten around. I'd have to go with Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. Wow.
Yeah.
Where was that match at?
Huh?
Where was that match at?
That match was down in Amarillo.
I'd imagine.
And it was at the Amarillo. It was like a little mini convention center.
Oh, wow.
But it was like a small, almost like a 4-H club place. And, you know, I don't want to say it was a barn, because it wasn't. It was nicer than that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But a place like where they put on like rodeos or whatnot.
Right.
And, you know, which is pretty cool. And so anyhow, worked a match with him, and it was the hardcore match, because that's what he really loved to be in. One thing he liked about it is that he didn't have to run a lot, because his knees were really gone, and same with his hips and all that, you know.
He still would hit you strong, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, dude, yeah, when he hit you, you know. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, dude, I mean, this was definitely not a little slice of white bread, you know. We're talking, you know, stone mill frickin' bread. But the thing that was great about it was he came up to me, you know, before the match was even there. We met each other before going in different locker rooms and stuff. And he goes, right now, I'm just apologize for what I'm going to do to you out there, okay? And I was just like, yep. I said, I apologize to you, and I'm going to do to you as well. He goes, well, Liz, you drink beer? I said, yeah, I drink beer. He goes, well, maybe we can drink some beer afterwards if we like each other enough. And all that, and I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be one of these nights, you know? And so, sure enough, man, right before I started getting called out there or whatever, I knew our match was up, and, you know, I've been in many of the hardcore matches before, but I hadn't been in one with Terry, you know, this was been my first time, and my knees were just a clacking, you know, they were just, I was like, holy shit, you know, I know what he did to Mick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was wondering what he was going to do to me. And anyhow, it was all on the outside. There were things underneath the skirt of the ring, and then also at the posts of the ring, there were utensils all put up. You know, like barbed wire bats and kendo sticks and all that jazz.
Plenty of choices there.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy cow.
And so we opened it up in a simple wrestling match at first. We opened it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just started you know, seeing who had the better hand on wrestling, you know, in which he's the baby. I put him over on that, of course, you know, and so anyhow is then I cheap shot him, and right in the throat when the referee was backing me up from him.
Mm-hmm.
He had his head down, so I went ahead and I thwacked him right underneath his chin, right in his throat. And so he's stumbling around the ring. He thought like someone shot him. He was oh. I started walking over to him. He's like, let me finish selling, kid. I'm not done. I'm not done. Oh God, oh. And anyhow, as I get him up and I'm throwing him around, and then he finally gets a hold of me, and he gets a couple of licks in on me and gets me through the middle of the rope. And he goes on to the outside, and sure enough, goes right for that kendo stick. Holy shit. Oh, wow. He damn near broke that thing on the first hit.
I bet.
I'm telling you, I tell the world, Terry Funk, man, he is no slouch when it comes to the hardcore. And man, we just started going, and we had to go 45 minutes. That was what we had to do. And
so you went beyond Broadway.
What was that?
You went Broadway, a little bit beyond.
Yeah.
Whew.
Man, we were going, and yeah, because the promoter, he was just like, I want to make sure you guys bleed out there. So bleed as much as you can. And, you know, Terry, it's not hard for him to bleed. You headbutt him once.
Oh, God, the scar tissue.
Exactly. And, oh, when I got myself open or whatever, it was funny because he looked at it, and you think he saw a birthday cake. He was all happy to see my blood. And then he started really opening it up. You like that, champ? You like that, champ?
Oh my goodness.
What, it was awesome. It was so awesome. He went over on me, and he went ahead and did one of his moonsaults off the top turnbuckle. He went on up there, he got his foot right to the top turnbuckle. His other foot was almost on it, and he just flipped and lit on me. And I mean, I just laid there, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh. But we took everything to each other. At the end of that match, everything was there. And then, of course, once I'm laying there, my face is up towards the lighting, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So guess what he calls for?
What?
He starts pointing to people and motioning them to the ring. So guess what they start throwing into the ring?
Everything and anything, huh?
Yes.
Oh man, all the chairs.
I can't believe they're taking, you know, because I'm like, I'm out. I'm supposed to be out like a light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God Almighty. Oh. we laughed over that for a long time. We truly did. And at the end of it, I was like, man, how do you get them to do that? He goes, because I'm goddamn Terry Funk. I can do anything. That's why. God love me.
I'm telling you. God, that must have been a blast.
But seriously, that, he really opened my eyes to such a new world of everything. And the experience was just awesome. And, I just love the guy. I just love the guy. And I couldn't ask for a better match. That was a great match that night. It was worth every ounce of the glue stick that I needed to close up my head.
I can imagine. Well, I got a little bit of time left here. I play a usual game here like I do with most people that do the shoot interviews. It's called word association. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
So I'm going to give you some names, and I am just interested in your response. If you want to tell a story, that's fine too. All right, you ready?
I think so. Go ahead.
Let's go Dirty Ernie.
Dirty Ernie, fabulous man. Love him. I'll work him anytime.
Yeah, I mean, really an awesome dude when I met him myself. He was a great guy. Let's see. Ricky Morton.
Oh, Ricky Morton wow, that dude, seriously, man, he has a part of my heart. He lives in a part of my heart. Man, him and me, I tell you what, I love him, and I'll always take care of that dude.
Yeah, that's what I love about this, because you respect, the culture and the people before you. That makes it beautiful.
I got to, you know what I mean? And they make it easy because they're so damn good.
Yeah.
They're good people.
All right, let me move on here. Chase Stevens.
Chase Stevens, brother from another mother. I think we were separated at birth.
You guys definitely had some wild times together. I've heard these stories, a few of them.
Yes, we had. Yes, we had.
Let's see. Chris Cash.
Chris Cash. Well, a little better than they once were. Before was in my bad zone.
Yeah.
But now, he's moved up in a decent zone. I've talked to him about a year ago, and kind of got things kind of quelched. So I've just kind of let that go.
Yeah, I mean, there was some heat there. I do remember that. I'm glad everything got taken care of.
Yeah.
So, Jerry Lawler.
Wow. Good. One thing I'll definitely give to him, man, is he is a great drawer. He's a good artist and all that. And, he loves the business. I'll just do that. That's about what I can say really cool with him.
Yeah. Here, going from one king to another, Harley Race.
Oh, wow. Now, Harley Race is the true king of wrestling. And he was one hell of a man. In fact, he gave me a shot when I really needed it. And I had owed him for that his whole life. And, it's a shame that his wife isn't here anymore. And it's a shame with him as well.
Yeah, he just passed away, last year?
I still think of him every day. Every day.
Yeah. You know, that definitely a great man. So here you go. I got one more here. Your thoughts on the current state of professional wrestling?
Wow. Okay. This is a good one. This one might be almost story potential. I haven't really watched a lot of some of the new wrestling per se, like all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do is I'd stream it and watch portions of it.
Yeah.
Just to see if it's something that's going to catch my eye. The NXT stuff that they have with Vince, I think is good and decent. You know?
Yeah.
I kind of like that almost more than the stuff that's on the regular TV usually. You know, Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
But higher than that, honestly, I'm really up there with AEW. That AEW is very interesting to me.
You like that side of it?
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, because everybody's got their opinion on it. I'm more on the NXT side, but a lot of people, they do like the AEW. I'm just glad we got more promotions besides one.
See, that's what I was about ready to say. As long as we got NXT and AEW, if you watch just those two shows, you'll actually start seeing, not the Monday Night Wars, so to speak, but you'll start seeing the wars happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because you got good, hungry people in those, where, you know, SmackDown and Raw, you know, those you just get to put over the next pay-per-view or whatever.
Right.
You know? Not saying that there aren't good talent on there. I'm not, you know, putting anyone down necessarily.
But the storyline seems to be better with NXT.
Yes.
It keeps you more intact with it. It makes you want to keep watching.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. So my final question here, your advice to anybody breaking into the business, what would that be?
Have a good job that supports you while you're doing it. And think long and hard that you want to do it. Because, you know, a lot of times if you give it all to the business, at the end, even if the business gives a lot back to you, you know, you pay for it in the end, you know, maybe not physically, but, you know, sometimes even mentally or, you know, name-wise, you know.
Yeah.
And so, one thing for sure is get trained by a real trainer. You know, someone who's actually been to the shows, you know. And also be respectful to everyone you run across with. Have a job that feeds you income so that you can travel. You know, to help out with traveling. Because if you just stay in your neighborhood, local wrestling area, you don't get the chance to branch out and make a name up for yourself.
Very true.
You know, it's being able to go that extra, you know, 500 miles. Go ahead and do it. You'll thank yourself in the end, you know, that you did do it, you know. And definitely, you know, get tights and get boots, you know. unless you're doing a different, like a completely different gimmick, like a cop, or, you know, like Big Boss Man was.
Right.
Or like how you
Yeah, trust me, I remember the boots, man. I'll never forget them. I still got them.
Yeah, right on, bro. Right on. And, but, you know, it's just, but, you know, there's a lot of guys that, you know, that just go out there just in their jeans and a t-shirt, you know, and worked out a lot, because look in the mirror, and if you think what's looking back at you in the mirror looks good for TV, then start sending your tapes in. If your body doesn't look like you'd want to see it on TV, then keep working out before you send in your tapes.
Pretty much. Well said.
That's kind of like my ball of thought on it.
Makes sense to me. I'd like to thank you for coming on the Dr. Quack podcast. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Quack. I appreciate it very much, man.
All right. And I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. You know, this channel here, trying to get some more viewers. And I love having guests like this, because you get to hear about the real side of professional wrestling, which not a lot of people talk about. Like I said, I'd like to thank you once again, Damian, for coming on.
Thank you, Dr. Quack.
All right, buddy. And I'm out.